It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
This question is from Seth. Seth said, we had a baby and we have $8,000 of medical debt.
Oh, congratulations, Seth.
On the baby, not the debt.
Yeah.
Should we pay it off using the $16,000 we have on our HSA? Or should we make monthly payments, seeing as that there's no interest and the payment would be half of our HSA? Thanks, love the show.
Okay, this is an interesting question, Seth. And here's the thing. There's so many variables. This is what's hard. But I'm just going to give you some good general advice here. First of all, I need to know, here's what you need to be taking into account. What I don't know is, are you part of the 4% financial mutants where that $16,000 that's in your health savings account is actually invested? Or are you like the 96% of Americans that use health savings accounts and you're using this as a clearing account?
Right.
There's an indicator in the fact that, they've got $16,000 in this thing, so they've probably been healthy for a while, been saving for a while. This is they're beyond the out-of-pocket maximum amount because $16,000 is higher than that. So this shows me they're probably in financial mutant territory and likely investing. So that's one thing to take into account. The other thing I'd ask is, you said that you could pay this back over time. It is essentially a 0% interest. They're not charging any penalty for paying this off. Well, I would, because Bo, when I look at this initially, I'm like, hey, let's just keep it simple. KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Let's just pay this thing off so we don't deal with the headache. But then it hit me. I was like, well, wait a minute. If it's 0%, I want to make sure if this person's fully invested in a health savings account, you don't want to liquidate while things are way down right now. So that doesn't make sense. So this is somebody, if you're saving the 20 to 25% and you're funding your Roth, you're funding your HSAs, and you've got that money fully invested, I'm okay if you do spread this out, if it doesn't break your cash reserves or hurt you. But if it does, if you're one of those people that's using this as a clearing account and that $16,000 just sitting there in cash, and it would squeeze you from a financial standpoint that if you did this through monthly payments versus just paying it out of your HSA, that you're not doing your Roth IRAs and employer match at your 401k, then I would say just pay it off. So those are the variables I would take into account. What's your strategy that you're currently using in the health savings account? How are your other funding things? Think about the financial order of operations. Are you doing the other components like the Roth, the HSA, how your emergency reserves look? Those will all go into play on figuring out if you just go straight up pay cash.
Now, if you do decide, right, that you're going to use the HSA dollars, or you're thinking through that kind of process, one of the things I would encourage you is don't forget a unique benefit of HSAs is they do get a current year tax deduction. So even if you're like pulling funds out, don't let yourself think, oh, well, I'm just done with HSA this year. If you can find a way to get some more dollars into that before the end of the year, you're going to benefit from that, even if you put the money in and immediately pull it right back out. Because it is one of the only vehicles out there that's not single tax advantage, not double tax advantage, but it is triple tax advantaged. So if you can take advantage of that, can get the money in, you should. But I kind of agree with you, Brian. I think you could go either way, and both ways could make sense.
Well, I gave them enough breadcrumbs they can look and see which side they resemble. If they're fully invested in that HSA and they're financial mutants, yeah, they could probably draw it out. However, if it's just a liquid cash sitting in that health savings account and this would cause them distress from a monthly cash flow standpoint, just pay it off.